Hiya, it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today we are going to be looking at these tattered lace trio dies. We're going to take each flower and show step by step how we make it up. Now, your tattered lace trio dies are what they say they are. There are 3 steps to them. So you've got your die for your die cutting, then you've got your embossing folder, and then you've got your stamps. So the combination of all 3 make a really nice flower, but obviously you do not have to do all 3 steps at any given time. You could just cut them out, you could use the stamps independently or the embossing folder independently. So you don't have to be restricted. There's actually a lot that can be done and a lot of combinations and things that you could use these for. Now, the tattered lace trio dies are thin metal dies, so they should go in pretty much any machine on the market, and you would just use the sandwich that you would use for thin dies. So just look in your instructions and it will tell you what sandwich you need for your particular machine. Today I'm going to be using my Sizzix Big Shot, and so I will be talking through the sandwiches that I am using for that machine. But what we're going to do today is go step by step through the flowers on using all 3 steps and show you how we put each flower together and how it turns out. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, so I have in front of us now the Helen trio flower die, and we're going to start off by cutting out these 3 layers. Okay, so I've got my magnetic plate down, my acrylic plate, my piece of paper, and I'll just pop that in there. So then I'm just going to put my dies on. Okay, and then the final acrylic mat, and then just run that through my machine. Okay. Just lift those off and pop them out. Just loosen it up with a bit of a tap. And we've got a beautiful little die cut, so I'm going to pop that through for another go so that we have a couple more layers. Okay, so now we're going to emboss our flowers using the little embossing folder that comes in the trio die set for Helen flower. And for this I need to take away my magnetic plate on my Sizzix and get my normal platform here, and we're going to use tag 1. So this one is going to flap out the way. So whatever your machine you're using, just use your normal embossing sandwich. We're then going to put my acrylic plate down. I'm then going to get my flowers, and you can see I did a couple extra here, as I said, and I think that looks really nice. They've come up beautiful. And I'm going to get the embossing folder. I'm going to pop them in. Now, because it's paper, we can easily put this many in and it will emboss just fine. And then we're just going to try and centralise the flowers so that they sit. If you see the pattern of our embossing folder, you can see there's a central portion. So I just want to make sure that my flowers sit on that nicely. And finally this one. So all the centres are pretty much in the centre. It's not a massive big deal, but I just wanted it to have that pattern. You might decide, well, actually I'd like to move it over a little bit and have the pattern slightly different. So it's really up to you how you do it. So then we're going to put that down on the acrylic plate and platform, and put the other acrylic plate over the top, and then just run it through our machine. And then just grab that platform plate off, and then open this up, and it just looks so pretty already. And they kind of tend to stick together a bit when you emboss them together like that, because the embossing kind of makes them stick into each other. So you just need to carefully loosen them off. And can you see how that's right in the centre there? So pretty. Okay, so you can see how, with them all laid out, just how lovely all that embossing looks. And you could leave it just like this, put the flower together, but we're going to use the stamps. So this is step 3 of our trio. And then I've got that stamp, just pop it onto the acrylic block, take your ink, and then get your little flower and stamp. There we go. And doesn't that look lovely? Okay, so then I want to take my next layers and I want to add any bits that I want. Okay, so here's all our flowers completed, or our layers completed, all stamped and inked and embossed and everything. So now it's just a case of putting it together. Now you could put it together just like this, layering it up. You could even use them just individually like this and just sort of move them as a little cluster if you wanted to on your card. But what I want to do is just gently curl the ends of the petals using my bone folder. And that just, I think, gives a nice little shape to the petals. You need to be gentle with it because otherwise you will take away the embossing. But you can see that just makes a nice little effect. And you can see there I just pulled a little petal off. That's no big deal. We'll just keep the petal, and when we stick it together we'll pop him in. So don't panic if you do that. It's not a problem. Okay, so here's our little flowers. So all I'm going to do now to put them together is my glue gel. So let's take my first layer here and put a little bit of glue gel in the centre like that. And then we're going to take the next layer, making sure we're getting the right one. So this one's slightly bluier because it had the different pattern on it. So to a certain extent, it's with all the inking and everything, it's almost not a problem really. And then we just want to make sure that our petals are offset, so we'll just twist it slightly, and then we're just going to get the glue gel again, and then just taking a little bit of glue gel where the petals should have been. Now you could either leave it completely because it's with all those layers it's not going to show, or you can just do this and pop him in. And where we've just added that extra bit of glue gel, we can stick that petal in, and it's as good as new because by the time we finish that will be covered up. I'm just going to use my bone folder to move it because it's hard to do it with your fingers. There we go. So that's how you repair it if you break it. And but as you say, you can barely see the join now, but by the time we've added this next layer you're not going to see it at all. So, and there that is, doesn't that look pretty? And then to finish I just want to add a lovely little crystal into the centre there, and there is our finished flower. Isn't it gorgeous? So it's a different look depending on how you curl the leaves and how you put the layers together, so you can get something completely different with the same die as well, which is so nice. You've got such versatility. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed having a look at how to make the Helen Trio flower die. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.